Good morning, everyone. My name is Beth, and I am with the Education Alliance. At the Education Alliance, our mission is to bring together businesses and community partners to support public schools. And one of the things that we are passionate about is helping students explore career opportunities and to help them gain the skills they need for future success. So one of the ways that we do this is through a program like this. This is our virtual work-based learning program. And this particular presentation today kicks off our spring 2025 virtual work-based learning program. So in this program, we connect students with professionals, and the idea is to not only let you gain some career awareness, but also some real-world insight and experiences. Today, I am thrilled that we have the opportunity to partner with Dow Chemical, and we're going to give you a chance to learn firsthand from some experts in this industry. I want to remind you that this session is designed to be interactive. So, as our speakers share their insights, I encourage you to either jot down some questions that come to mind or remember some questions that you have, because there's going to be plenty of time in this presentation for those questions. We'll stop periodically and check in with the class to see if you guys have questions, and we'll also have time for questions at the end of the presentations. All right, with that, I am pleased to turn it over to Amy from DOW to get us started.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. As Beth mentioned, my name is Amy Webster, and I work at DOW. So let me see if I can share my screen. And also the presentation. Okay, so I'll get into the part. I'll talk about me a little bit. This is Josh's first time as well, so I will let him talk about himself a little bit as well, and then we'll go on to about DOW. So a little about me is, I need to change the top. I am currently an operations leader for Triton and the PSL&F logistics assets. I will hit 10 years of work experience this year. It has flown by. I do have a BS in chemical engineering, which I got from WU Tech, that's now located in Beckley, as well as I did complete my MBA virtually while working for DOW, and DOW actually paid for that MBA. And you can see I had quite a bit of experience working as a production engineer for several of the assets before becoming an improvement engineer, and ultimately got this leadership job. So in my role now, I have 16 operators that report to me, as well as about 12 contractors that do. I'm originally from Elkins, West Virginia, which is up in the northern part of the state, and that's a picture of it. You can see it in the mountains. I like to say it's from the pretty part of the state. I'm the oldest of 4. I am married, and we also have 2 rescue dogs, Piper and Oscar. That's in the pictures.
Amy, I'm
Personally,
going to
I'm
stop you there
interested
for a minute because I don't see your screen. Is anyone
Oh,
else seeing
no.
Amy's screen?
Oh, I see. It's like not okay. Thank you for
Yep.
stopping me.
No, you're welcome. We need to see those puppies.
Of course. I don't know how to change it.
Okay, let me see if
Okay, let me see. Let me put it. I want to share screen.
there we go. You got it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's okay. Thank you, Amy.
you're welcome. Let me see if I can get it to go. Do you see? Okay, so you see it. So these are the dogs, Piper and Oscar. Do you see it in presentation mode, or is it in the slideshow?
We do not see it in presentation mode.
Okay, let me stop. It moved it again. LMS.
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so personally, I'm interested in the animal shelter. I play piano as well as baking and reading. Professionally, I'm very interested in operations, personal safety. So that's things like being tied off if you're on a ladder, confined space, being able to go into something, having the proper PPE when you're performing work, as well as influential leadership. So what that is somebody that does not have any direct leadership responsibilities, being able to influence somebody to do something. And last but certainly not least is educational outreach. That's what has me here talking to you all today. Any questions about me? Josh, unfortunately, I do not have a slide for you, but if you want to briefly introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Josh Swecker. I'm a new run plan engineer at Triton. I went to Herbert Hoover High School. I'm from Charleston. Graduated from WU with a bachelor's in chemical engineering. I love to play sports, play board games. That's what I do in my pastime. Um, so far, I love the job at Triton here, production engineer. And that's all for you.
Right, thank you. A little bit about DOW. We are a pretty large company. So we have roughly 104 manufacturing sites in 31 countries. And you can see we have about 35,000 employees. So this is just a list of where we are. Here's our ambition and purpose and goals. So, we want to be the most innovative, customer-centric, inclusive, and sustainable material science company in the world. We want to have a sustainable future and see the world through our material science expertise and collaboration with our partners. And you can see our values: integrity, respect for people, and protecting our planet. But we don't just say that, we actually preach it. So you see here, this is just a small example of some of the materials that we actually have done. So for example, the EcoSurf surfactants are readily biodegradable. They're on the EPA's clean ingredient list. And surfactant is actually something that's made here in West Virginia, as well as that DOW firm, the heat transfer fluid, that's also made here in West Virginia. And so what that is how solar panels work is they, capture the heat. Heat is energy. In order to convert that energy heat into something that's actually used, it actually heats up this fluid, and the fluid maintains the heat so they can move it to a place to convert it into energy. So when you plug your phone in, it works. You can also see all these other ones that we have. We look at, closing the loop with our mattress recycling things. And I want to talk about the EcoFast Pure Sustainable Textile Treatment in the next slide. And so what that is we actually partnered in this with Ralph Lauren, and we came up with this EcoFast Pure. And so what that is, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to dye clothes, but it takes a lot of water, a lot of heat, and a lot of time. And that is because the dye and the material of the clothes are naturally repellent. So they're going to hit each other, and they're not going to want to absorb. So you got to use a lot of dye, a lot of water. So we actually managed to be able to reverse that polarity. And so we can actually dye clothes with 90% less chemicals, 50% less water, 50% less dye, and 40% less energy because it's at room temperature. And we debuted that with Ralph Lauren at the Olympics. So you can see here, these actually were images in Olympic people that wore Ralph Lauren clothes that were actually dyed with DOW products. So I mentioned surfactants. So where Josh and I both sit is actually a surfactant plant. And so surfactants, you typically think of soap. And these are some things that actually DOW surfactants go into. I'm sure you've heard of some of these. The other big thing about DOW is we're very inclusive, and we want to maintain that. And I know right now that's a very big buzzword right now. So, but it is something that DOW really approaches. And so what do we do with that? So we have 10 ERGs with a roughly 50% employee participation. And what that is employee resource groups. And that's not just things like GLAD, it's also things like women, young people, so things like Josh. Like we have groups for him because he, not to call him out, he is the youngest person down this hallway. So it kind of helps us, you know, he has somebody to talk to and stuff that may be like him at a different plant. We also have the STEM talent pipeline. So we look at, you know, we want to bring people in, but we've also started looking at military degree equivalents. So if you go in the military, you're in the military for 4 or 6 years, and you want to come out and join into like civilian life, this actually helps. You know, we can look at your military experience and equate that to real life experience when we hire you. You're not putting in a resume that requires experience and you have nothing. The other thing that we, you know, we do get some global recognition, and we actually just got recognized again, is one of the top companies, top 25, I believe, for Great Places to Work, certified. So what that is, you know, they look at all the companies. This is external to DOW, and we are actually one of the companies that they recommend is a great place to work, very inclusive and very diverse. We also support our communities. So this was back in 2020. We did a lot of money with a corporate and foundation and kind of investing. We give grants, we do partners, and we also volunteer. Something we're getting ready to volunteer with is they have engineering day at the Clay Center for young students, especially Girl Scouts. We're getting ready to volunteer there. And so what that is we look at the world's social challenges. So we, you know, we provide that community inclusion. So we want to look at nonprofits that promote inclusion, diversity, and equity. We supported COVID recovery. Actually, with the COVID recovery, when hand sanitizer was a big thing, they actually approached the Triton plant, which is where we work, to make hand sanitizer. And we did make hand sanitizer to be used for COVID relief efforts. We also look at supporting students. We look at the STEM programming, we donate to help classroom needs, and we try to participate with the schools. Again, we also have our new sustainability targets. So a couple of years ago, we launched these targets. So by 2030, we're going to reduce our net annual carbon emissions by 5 million. And by 2050, we intend to be carbon neutral. And to help go with that, so up in Canada, at the Fort Saskatchewan, we are actually building a carbon neutral reactor. So it is in the process of being able to go live. We're also going to stop the waste. So we're going to enable 1 million metric tons of plastic to be collected, reused, or recycled, and close the loop. So we are going to have 100% of our DOW products can be sold in packaging applications will be reusable or recyclable. So I want to go into some jobs at DOW, and this is not all inclusive because with 35,000 people, there are all kinds of jobs. So these are entry-level jobs. So these are jobs like, you know, you can get fresh out of college or even after high school. So the first one, this is actually what Josh is he's an engineer. So he is responsible for daily operations of the facility. This includes improvement in safety, and it does require a bachelor's of science in engineering. It does not have to be chemical engineering. It is usually preferred for the production engineer side, but we have maintenance engineers, reliability engineers, electrical engineers, and all of those you can get in with just a BS in your degree. The next one is operator. So they're going to do shift work. Our operators here work rotating 12-hour shifts. I've seen some plants that do 8-hour shifts. It all depends. It is typically a little bit more manual labor. You do have one board operator per shift typically, but the rest of the operators are outside. They're hooking up hoses or steaming valves. When it was really cold, we were running. So they were out there, everything when it was, you know, hooking everything up, making sure we were good to go. We do prefer a 2-year associate operator technician degree. And so Bridge Valley does offer that. And actually we will, if you get into our early acceptance apprentice program, we will pay for you to go to school. We will pay for your school. We will pay for you to study, and we will hire you when you finish. The next one is a lab technician. Again, they work shift work. They do have some day jobs at the lab. And so what the lab does is they test the samples that come in. So when we make a product, we will sample it to make sure it's really what we want. To be in a lab, you need to have a certain number of college chemistry classes. I believe it's roughly 15 hours of chemistry. You do not need a degree, although that is preferred. These next ones do not require any college experience, but you will see that they do require apprenticeships, or you could go to an associate, get an associate's. And so the next one is a pipe fitter. So what they're doing is sketching, fabricating, installing the piping or tubing as needed in the facility. Quite a few of them can also weld on the equipment. And as I mentioned below, it's an apprenticeship. We have several here. They're typically contractors, so they do not work necessarily for DOW, but they're here every day working for their contractor, under their contractor company. And so a lot of them, if you get within the union hall or you go to a local community college, they can connect you. The next one is an I&E tech. So that's an instrument and electrical tech. And you can be one or the other or both. And so whenever you install equipment, you may have the pipe fitter be the one that actually puts the valve in and puts the bolts through to bolt the valve into the pipe. But the I&E tech is the one that's going to hook the air up and the electrical up so the valve will actually turn when it needs to. They'll also troubleshoot anything existing. So sometimes you'll have air come loose or whatever, because air typically is what operates the valve. And again, you can get that with an apprenticeship. And in an apprenticeship, you're paid to work, and then you go to school typically in the afternoons, and then you will graduate from that apprenticeship program and able to go. The last one I have listed here is a millwright. So the millwright is the one that's actually working on your rotating equipment, think pumps, motors, that type of stuff. Again, they'll install new or replace, but they also help with troubleshooting. If you're having a pump that's not moving like you need to, you can work with a millwright. And they also recommend an apprenticeship for that program. But there's room to grow in those. So if you become any of those, you can grow up into these experienced job opportunities. So the first one's the site leader. So it's the most senior leader at the site. He currently does a lot more interaction with the community. And so what that is he's going to meet with community leaders and things like that, as well as it does require experience in multiple roles. The next one is a technical advisor. So this is somebody that's typically an operator, a more experienced operator, and then they take on this. This is a day job. So they do work typically Monday through Friday, but they do have to take on call. They will help operators on shift with tag outs, task completion, as well as help with certifying operators. The third one is a work activity coordinator. So they will plan maintenance to be completed. They'll schedule the work based on the priority or availability of workers. As I mentioned before, like a millwright, we only have so many millwrights. So if you have 5 pumps that are broken, they'll help you to prioritize that. Any of the maintenance crafts, having experience with any of them is preferred. A lot of it is you can learn that people will work together with you. In the bottom row, the first one is scheduler. So here at West Virginia, we actually have batch processes, but even in continuous, you still need someone to schedule like when you're going to make stuff, when your raw materials are here, when your trucks are shipping out. And so that's what your scheduler does. They will work with operations to identify priorities on downtime, as well as just make sure the plant's running smoothly. They have a variety of backgrounds. I know a scheduler that came from maintenance. I have a scheduler that has been an engineer. Some of them take supply chain classes and end up here. It's not necessarily a one-fits-all. It's whatever, and it's a lot of computer work too. The next is an analytical technologist. So this is kind of like the technical advisor, but for the lab. So basically you're going to help the lab technicians with any samples or troubleshooting, maintaining equipment, and up-to-date methods to run the samples. And again, that's day shift with on-call hours. And the last one is gatekeeper. So you represent the facility to maintenance. So you work with the work activity coordinator to schedule maintenance. And this can go either way. I've seen people that are experienced in maintenance become the gatekeeper. I've also seen experienced operators become the gatekeeper. It just depends on what you want to do. So that's all I have about DOW.
Was there any questions about the different types of jobs that Amy told us about, the entry-level jobs and the experience jobs?
Let me see. Anybody have any questions so far? None yet? None yet, they said.
Like anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Beth, I have a question, or
Okay.
maybe even a couple. Well, first, let me say I know Josh. I'm friends with his mom and dad. So, hey, Josh, how's it going?
How are you, Dell?
Good, good. Um, so I wanted to ask, how and where do you recruit for those entry-level jobs? And also, on the entry-level jobs, you mentioned the Bridge Valley connection. I think I missed maybe. Do they get hired at Dow and then Dow pays for them to go to Bridge Valley? And how does that work?
So for that actual one, I'll talk about that one first. That is actually you're hired at DOW. It's an apprenticeship program that we have nationwide. Bridge Valley is just the local school that we use to fulfill the 2-year degree requirement. And so how that works is, I'm not sure if it's still listed, but typically about this time, they will post the posting. I've heard people say they see it on LinkedIn and everything. You can go to the DOW website and find the posting. And so you apply to that. It is very competitive. And so we will look at that, and then we will choose somebody to get into that program. And again, like, we'll pay for school. You will see some people that get into the program, so they'll go to Bridge Valley. They'll be in their first semester. They'll apply to DOW, and we will hire them. Typically, we try to target, it's about 2 years to complete the program. So somebody that's a semester away, we're typically not going to put them in the apprenticeship program. That's not saying that they can't apply to DOW, but we're just not going to. The program's designed to be roughly 2 years. So what we look for with experience, and I can't speak for certain because I'm not the person that's hiring them, but for example, we have somebody, he's 18 years old, but he had a lawn mowing business. So he was very dedicated. He mowed the lawns. He did all of that for people, in high school. And so we looked at that as somebody like, okay, they're going to show up when they're supposed to. They know how to follow through. So that was something we ended up doing. And he's working here as an apprentice, and we absolutely love him. Hope I get to hire him in another year when he finishes. But you can get the degree, because sometimes you never know. We have people, things come up and they leave last minute, or we try to plan ahead for attrition. And so we will hire somebody off the street. But again, we want that 2-year degree if you have it, or a lot of experience. But if you have that 2-year degree, that really puts you ahead.
So the students, if they're seniors, they should probably start looking at applying at DOW and getting into that situation, right?
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the operator technician, yes, you should be looking at applying. If it's something that you think you want to do, once you have that 2-year degree, because Bridge Valley offers that degree, but you have Covestro here, you have DOW here, you have Salinas, now it used to be called Clearon, you have Altivia. There's other chemical plants here in the valley that will look for this degree. So it's not just that this only gets you into DOW, it's just something that DOW requires.
What's the commitment if they do that? If Dow hires and pays for them, what's the commitment after graduation to Dow?
I'm not sure. I know when I did my MBA, it was I believe a 3-year commitment. And so I'm not sure if the apprenticeship is the same thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As for the other programs, because you did mention, to get into this entry level. So a lot of it is we look at what's available and what the needs of the site. And so for an engineer, if we have somebody that's taking a new role or something like that, then we will try to post ahead of time and see. We like to try to post internally first, but we do have entry level positions. So you get people that are just out of school that we will hire. And we do typically look a lot at the local schools, because we have found that the local college students will stay in West Virginia. The lab technician, same thing. They will post internally, but then they'll just post externally. The last 3 are actually contractors. So you can, when I talked to the contractor and said, how can you get interested in this? And basically, this is kind of generic, but it's the easiest way. If you go to your local community college that offers one of these programs, they can get you in contact with a lot of them are with the union hall. The union hall can get you the contractor, and you can work your way up from that. If you're really interested in that, I can work with the contractors to see for Wayne County, like where they need to go.
Amy, I have a question. Out of the entry-level jobs or the experienced jobs, which one is the most popular? Which one do you see people trying to go into the most?
Probably because we have the most of them, but operator is a very popular one here. So, but we also see a lot of staff type jobs. They're not even all on here, but you have like an EHS tech. We just had a posting for an EHS tech, and I think we had like 70 applications. I hired an operator back in September, and I think we had 90-something applications. So it is something that we see a lot of applications for. The engineer, we typically, if we know, we typically know ahead of time with those, just because you see them day to day, and we see that somebody's applying, they're telling us, I'm applying to something, I'm wanting to move on. And we will try to do internally, but sometimes we have to go external. And so we actually do recruiting efforts with WU Tech and WU. It's how both Josh and I got into this. And so we'll target those schools to see if somebody wants to come.
We had a question. So we have a CTE course here at our school that is welding, and they can actually get different welding certifications. So we're kind of interested with that kind of go along with maybe the pipe fitter job.
Yeah, so I can't speak exactly. I know that the fitters we see, they're actually in the field, but I do know that they have like the welders and stuff that are back at the shop, they call it. And they're the ones that are welding the pipe and putting the elbows on and everything that what we need. They don't come out of the hall because they are in their welding, and it's a little bit more temperature controlled. Some of them like it, some of them don't. It's kind of depending on you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask a question? I'm just wondering, I help students find internships, and they're always interested in what the salary is. Do you have any like beginning salaries, or does it totally depend on education and experience?
It's kind of depending on all of that, especially on, you have your beginning salary, but then you also have the overtime component with it. So, for example, the operators, I think an entry-level operator currently is about $60,000, but I have operators who work a lot of overtime and are fully certified that will easily double that, if not
Sure.
more, in a year.
Yeah, that's
and then,
a great start.
yeah.
Thank you.
And that's the same with the fitters and the I&E tech and the millwright. I don't know what their salary is. I've heard different things depending on how skilled they are. But if you're willing to work the overtime, you can easily make six figures.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, sounds like we have some really great questions. So let's go ahead, unless we have any more questions from the school or anyone, we can let Amy move on to our next section, which is an activity for us.
Okay, so we're going to do an activity around communication. And so why is communication important, especially in business? So, there's 6 things here. It builds and maintains relationships. It fosters innovation, builds effective teams, supports growth of the organization. It makes managing employees easier, and effective communication ensures transparency. So I'm sure you can all think about a time where you wanted someone to do something, but it didn't happen. And if you look back, a lot of times it's something with communication. Either they didn't understand you, you didn't understand them, or something was lost. So we're going to do an activity. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So you need to find a partner. Either one person will need a pencil and paper. And the first person, you're going to be the artist. But however, you're not going to be able to see what you're drawing. And you can't ask questions. And the second person is going to describe the drawing, but they can't help you with it. So we'll go ahead and give you a little bit to get the paper out, find your partner, and then we will time for 60 seconds. I'll let you all. You all are on mute, so I'm not sure when you guys are ready. You have to tell me.
So Amy, I want to make sure I understand. I'm not doing the activity, but I want to be sure I understand the directions. Do both students keep their eyes closed, or does the person drawing look at what you're showing?
Person A is the only one that's going to close their eyes. Person B will be able to open their eyes and see the drawing, but they can't help with the drawing other than describing it to
Got
person
it.
A.
Got it.
You all ready to go?
I think we're almost ready. Give us just one more minute or
Okay.
two. We're making sure everybody has a partner.
That's fine.
All right, I think we're good.
All right. So person A, if you're the one drawing, you can close your eyes. And person B, here in a second, I'm going to flip to the other screen. I've got my phone. We're going to time 60 seconds. So on your mark, get ready, go. Thirty seconds left. Fifteen seconds left. 5 seconds left. All right, it's been a minute. Person A, you can open your eyes. Did anybody get the drawing right?
All right. Anybody get the drawing somewhat right?
Hey, that's not bad.
Okay. Let's listen to Amy. All right, Amy.
Okay, so it was probably pretty hard, wasn't it? Because you had closed your eyes, you couldn't ask questions, you're simply relying on somebody else to tell you what to do blindly. You have no idea. And I'm sure it did not look like this cute little kitty cat. So what if we do it again? So you still have to close your eyes. However, you can talk back and ask questions.
Oh. Okay.
And again, the other person can't help you, but you can at least ask questions and have that communication. So we're going to do it a second time. I don't know if you need to get a new piece of paper out, flip it over, whatever. We ready?
You guys ready? Good. Any questions? No. So, like she just said, the only difference this time is that person A can actually talk back and ask questions. Person A still has their eyes closed. Okay? Good? Yeah. All right.
All right, on your mark, get set, go. Thirty seconds left. 15 seconds left. 5. All right, it's been a minute. Person A, you can open your eyes.
All right.
Better?
You guys ready? You ready for Amy? Okay, let's listen. We're ready.
Did we do any better? Did anybody get it this time?
How many people did better this time than the last time? A little bit, yeah? Yeah? Okay.
Was it a little easier because you could actually talk back and ask questions?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to do it one more time. Only this time you can both open your eyes, you can both talk to each other, and you can both help each other. Do you think we can do it better this time?
Do you guys think you could do it better this time?
Yeah.
Yep. They're saying yes.
All right. Okay, we ready?
Ready? Yep.
All right. Let's go.
Even that one made me say, oh.
Well, it's a little complicated. All right, it's been 30 seconds. $15 left. Three, 2, 1. All right. How we do?
That's time, guys. What did we think of this time? A lot easier.
No, I think we did worse.
For the most part, a lot easier this time.
I think we did worse.
Yeah.
We did worse.
I heard someone say they did worse. This one's a
Yeah.
little complicated one.
Yeah.
Miss
We're
Rains, I
gonna
think
just-
you maybe see a couple. I personally would like to see a couple of the artwork.
Okay, let me see if I can get somebody to bring some up. Hold on just a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a volunteer. She's gonna.
Okay.
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 Hold on. Wait, where's it at? Right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I like it.
Oh,
That's better than I could do.
pretty good.
That's embarrassing.
You want me to show yours, Lexi?
Oh, I like it.
Oh. I like them.
All right.
Can we see some of the first one? I'd love to see some of the first one.
Oh, okay.
The first one.
Anybody want to show their first one?
I will.
Okay. Oh.
Oh. Was
Yeah.
that the cat or the octopus?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, another one. Sorry, my camera's kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be the cat?
Yeah. That was the cat. Thank you. All right.
I'm so impressed. There's a reason I'm an engineer and not an artist.
I was trying to go somewhere with it.
That is all I have.
Are we all still there?
Yep, we're here.
Awesome. Well, Amy, thank you so much. I absolutely love the interactive activity you did with the students. I do kind of want to open it up for some more questions. And I wanted to start out. I have a question. I actually wanted to hear a little bit from Josh. So Josh, I know that Amy told us that you are one of the younger employees at DOW. And we also know that you went to Herbert Hoover High School. And I just want to know what made you go on this particular career path. And then I also would like you to tell us, if you were speaking to high schoolers, which you are, what's a word of advice you would give to them if they want to go into a career or into this industry?
Okay, well, I wish I had a great answer for you, but as a high school student, I love business, math, and chemistry. So I went into college undecided. So for any of you that think you need to decide what you want to do in college before you get there, that's not true. Your first year, you pretty much take all the same classes everybody else. So I go in undecided. After my first year, I said, heck, I'm just going to try chemical engineering. I like chemistry, I like math. And then on the business side, that in any engineering, you're also going to have business. So kind of encompass all three of the things I like to do. Um, Ended up loving it. I interned here last year, so that's kind of what drew me to Dow. I just tried to get an internship. Met with Amy at the career fair, which they came to WU. Came down here, loved it down here, so that's how I got here. My words of advice is go into something that you're passionate about. Work's not going to be fun if you're not passionate about it. I love chemistry. I love math. I love business, and I get to do all three of those things every day through optimizations, working with people, calculations. So that'd be my advice is do something that you love. You may not know exactly now, but you do have time to figure it out.
That's wonderful. And one more question. I'm not picking on you, but I do want to pick your brain a little bit just because you are new into your career. But and you may not even know the answer to this, but where do you see yourself in, let's say 5 years, 5 to 10 years with your career?
Well, I really like to get behind and understand and learn the chemistry and stuff. So I'm hoping um, uh, like a support staff too. People like myself right now as a run plant engineer where I have people, if I want to understand the chemistry, how the reaction works, I can ask. And they kind of give me that background so I have a better understanding of what I am producing at the plants. So that's my goal in 5 or 10 years is I can be one of the helpers too, where I am right now.
Hey Beth, let me add something on Josh. So Josh did an internship with my wife actually at a plant here close to us in Williamstown in Sistersville, West Virginia. So he was a standout at his internship. I'll just say that. Mary speaks very highly of Josh and his work effort during the summer. But I love your words of advice, Josh. I wonder if there is um, anything the students would want to ask Josh about his path and the fact that he's close to your age. If there's any questions that they might have for you specifically toward, you know, how do I look at moving forward, as I'm about to graduate?
I think we're being a little bit shy today.
Okay.
That's okay. It's a Monday.
Yeah.
So, anything, guys?
Is there anyone in your current class that this is perhaps maybe a career that they have considered or
Anything, guys? I know we have some people that are undecided. We have a lot of people who are interested in trades, welding, that type of thing. Millwrights definitely are a big thing here. So I would say we have some interest there.
it's wonderful.
I'm
That's wonderful.
can give an outside opinion on the trade. So two of my good friends are in the trades, and they love it. I think it's a great career path, especially if you don't want to go for 4 more grueling years of school. The trades is a great career path. It gives you travel opportunity. My one friend, he's an electrician, and he's been all over the country doing jobs here and there. So I think it's a great opportunity, definitely well paid, and definitely needed around here.
Mhm.
Absolutely. You guys agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. Thank you so much. Well, I think that's a perfect way to end our time today. Unless anyone has any more questions, I think that was a great way to end today's presentation. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. And we hope that today's learning module has given you some valuable insight into this particular career pathway and talking about some real world skills that might help shape your future. But I just want to give a quick reminder that every Monday from now till April, we are going to have a different business module with different businesses each week. Those modules will be recorded and they will be available on our website no later than Tuesday morning. And if you're interested in that, go to educationalliance.org and we have a section called work-based learning, and you can find all of that in that section. So we encourage you to watch those recordings and keep exploring, keep asking questions, and just make the most of these opportunities that you have to learn about different careers. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. Thank you.